Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's showtime.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Nita, your favorite Diva, and I'm back. I'm back to review for you Top Gun Maverick. This is the sequel to the 1986 movie Top Gun. The movie is directed by Joseph Kosinski, and he's done projects such as Only the Brave, Tron, and Oblivion. The movie is based on characters by Jim Cash and Jack Epps Jr. However, the screenplay is written by Peter Craig, and I want to really emphasize Peter Craig because the screenplay is phenomenal. He is behind projects such as Bad Boys for Life or Bad Boys 3, Batman 2022, and The Town, Hunger Games 1 and 2. And he is currently writing The Gladiator Part 2. So it seems like his niche is writing sequels that has spanned a long time. His resume is quite extensive, and kudos to him. Fun fact, he is also Sally Field's son. Oh my God, such a small world, right? So, reprising the role as Maverick, we have Mr. Tom Cruise. There are a couple of few others, but I won't disclose them because I want you to be surprised. Just as I want to protect your viewing experience. It wasn't in the marketing, so I don't want to. It was somewhat in the marketing, but it wasn't in the marketing, so I don't want to reveal that for you. We also have Ed Harris. We have Jennifer Connelly, Miles Teller, John Hamm, Jay Ellis, Monica Barrero, Glenn Powell, among many, many others. The movie is classified as an action drama. It clocks in at 2 hours and 11 minutes, and the synopsis reads: after more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in ranks that would ground him. And that is all I'm going to say because this is your spoiler-free review. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. You know what we do here. I watch movies so you don't have to. I give you the good and bad and everything in between with no spoilers, of course. And I'll let you know whether or not you should know or go see it in theaters, which is currently exclusively playing right now. So let's get to the good, shall we? Listen, I'm going to give you a little bit of background about this movie. The movie was held since 2019. The movie was complete in 2019. And baby, it was supposed to be a summer movie, a summer blockbuster movie. And baby, Miss Rona came through in March of 2020 and shut it all down. And Mr. Tom Cruise, he said, no. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. We're not doing a double screening. We're not early releasing until butts get in the seats at the theater. That's when we're going to release this. That's what he said. And so the studios, Tom, he pushed for it with good reason. This movie was definitely worth the wait. This movie feels like a different type of throwback movie. It was really well crafted, well done. It just feels good. It does what Top Gun of 1986 did, and it improved on it. It made it better. It made it great. Y'all, the hype is real. The hype is really real. The score and the soundtrack is fantastic. It's a standout as well for me in the film. The team behind this is Hans Zimmer, Lady Gaga, Lauren Balfe, and Harold Faltermeyer. It was very nostalgic, very effective, and definitely beautiful. So let's talk about the authority figures. We have some authority figures. Of course, if Mr. Tom Cruise. If Maverick doesn't want to get promoted, so he don't get up in the air anymore, so he's still at the level where he has people over top of him, right? So we have some authority figures. We have John Hamm and we have Ed Harris. Very big in personality, and they both brought the gravitas that was needed to this film. The cast was great too. Not to be overdone. While some got more time to shine than others, I think that they all had great chemistry. The standouts for me was Hangman, Phoenix, and Payback. Hangman, he reminded me of a combination of Goose and Iceman. You have Goose, the fun and crazy guy, and then you have like Iceman, the egotistical, reserved guy. And I feel like they made him kind of like a combination of the two. We also have Phoenix, the only female aviator, played by Monica Barrero. She was a standout as well. And Jay Ellis being your token black man, and I'll just leave it as that. They gave him a little bit more to chew on, but I think he had more time to shine, more so than the others. The stakes and the cinematography was done exceptionally well. Beautiful shots, some reminiscent, like to the T, of its predecessor, but they're new and updated. And the way they captured the aviation sequences were incredible. The romantic element. Now, I remember when I watched Top Gun recently, I remember the romantic element being a little cheesy, a little corny, got a little cheese going on, okay? But I think with this one, there's still some cheese there, but I feel like and there was a delicate balance that they were able to tread, and they didn't, it felt like, I said, it felt like they looked at what happened in 86 and they wanted to make it better and improve upon it. So none of the music cues, none of take my breath away, none of that. So now we do have Lady Gaga's music, Hold My Hand, but it was not as prevalent as how they did it in the 1986. So Jennifer Connelly was a great love interest. I'm actually glad that they actually chose a different love interest, because for one, while I feel like that love interest would be okay, at the end of the day, 36 years later, I don't think that you will be with the same person 36 years later. Just being realistic. So I didn't have a problem with them progressing the movie forward, because that was like a young love, and usually young loves don't really last like that. People grow, things happen. He had such a bad tragedy happen, and usually something that's so bad usually kind of splits people apart. So that's all I'll say about that. The movie was way more emotional than I thought it would be. It built upon the original movie in a very creative and an effective way. I think that they really dug deep and they hit the mark with the way that they wanted the storyline to go. And I really dug where they went with the story. The aviation was captured so impeccably. It was so visceral, so real, so well done. It felt like you were in the jet with them. I was holding on at the edge of my seat. It was white knuckled, and I loved it. And last but not least, we have Miles Teller and Tom Cruise, the absolute MVPs of this movie. Miles Teller churns out a damn good performance, and Tom Cruise gives one of his best in recent time. I'm not going to discount any of his older movies, because some of those are up there and they hold their own rank, but this emotional weight and the acting that he really had to bring to this role recently is the best that he's done of late. And it brought the heart, it brought the emotional weight, it just brought the movie together as a whole. It was just phenomenal. Chef's kiss to both Miles Teller and Tom Cruise. There's so much to praise about this movie. So much good about it. The pacing, the editing, the production, the sound design, the soundtrack, like, it was great. It was great. we got to get to the bad. For the bad for me, it was only just one thing. It was the formula. The formula. I watched the first one recently, and it definitely bit off the first one. Same story beats. I have to ding it for it, because I know the hard-nosed critics will do the same thing. They're gonna be talking shit about it. They're like, you know, they will do all that. But it was definitely noticeable. Like for the first 20 or 30 minutes, you could actually put both movies up side by side, and they play the same. Dum, with the words. I'm not gonna get into it, but if you know, you know, okay? And so it was very, very noticeable. But what I did appreciate is that it kind of diverged off and became its own thing, even though it still hit some of the story beats, but I still felt like they kept it original enough, and I still felt like they reminded you enough. There was a little bit of hand holding, and I appreciate that. You talking about almost a 40-year-old movie. Listen, I ain't mind the hand holding. I appreciate it, and that's what I was saying. Like with the whole thing about, you don't have to see Top Gun 1. It would be advantageous for you to do it. However, you don't have to. It is a complete movie within itself. It can grasp this generation without even seeing it, and it's just a plus that if you saw the very first one. But I felt like they did enough development in this film that it stood alone by itself. So before I give you my overall thoughts on Top Gun Maverick, why don't you take a moment and follow me on my social media? It's right. So for my overall thoughts on Top Gun Maverick, while continuing the same story beats as the original, I believe that Top Gun Maverick took what was best about the original and made it great. I have absolutely no qualms about it. There was fantastic fan service, and not for the sake of fan service. It serves to remind you, because the original movie was set in the 80s. The soundtrack, the cinematography, the pacing, the editing, everything fantastic. The action sequences were perfection. They just don't make movies like this anymore. I always say the movies now are missing something. They just don't hit the way you want them to. And this movie did that for me and more. It actually exceeded my expectations. And for that, I give Top Gun Maverick 4.5 out of 5 stars. And it's definitely a huge recommendation from the Diva, to see this one on the biggest and the best screen that you can in theaters. On Thursday night, you guys, domestically, it made $19 million. That is a show that started at 7 p.m. The earliest show was 7 p.m. on the night before it officially released. Thursday night, $19 million domestically. So I predict, because this is a holiday weekend, and I think we're going to count Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I think we may be seeing 110, 130 total, maybe more. I don't know, y'all. Let me know your predictions down in the comments about what you think this movie may hit for this box office weekend. As far as legacy sequels go, I think Top Gun Maverick is one of the best to ever do it. Bad Boys for Life was great. I enjoyed Ghostbusters Afterlife. It wasn't one of the best to ever do it, but it was a good time nonetheless. It wasn't horrible. But yeah, I really dug this. So for my Diva recommendations, I have the original Top Gun 1986, and it is on Netflix. So if you want to go see it, check out the 1986 original movie on Netflix, and it will actually add to your experience watching the new Top Gun Maverick. Then we also have two Bad Boys for Life. Of course, it's the same writer, and it's still one of those sequels that span like 20, 25 years. And it knocks it out the park for me. And then also too, another aviation movie, Pearl Harbor. How about that? Why don't you try that out for size? So that will do it for me for my review of Top Gun Maverick. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you saw Top Gun Maverick, please chime down in the comments and let me know what you thought about it. Did you like my review? Did you like the movie? Am I wrong? Am I totally off base, or did I knock it out the park? But let me know. You know you won't hurt my feelings, right? Very down comment. So anyway, I'm Nita, your favorite diva. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share my videos with your friends, and make sure you come back. Bye.